Welcome to Silver Pros. No, wait, that doesn't sound right. Welcome to Gold Pros, sponsored by Bullion Max. I'm your host, Silver Dragons, and I'm joined by my knowledgeable co-host, Yankee Stacking. What's up, Yankee?
How you doing, SD? It's great to be here.
It is great to be here. We're talking about gold. We've never done this before,
Yeah,
at
you
least
had me. You said Silver Pros, but you didn't. No, it's Gold Pros tonight.
it's Gold Pros, baby. So we're talking about buying gold, some of our thoughts surrounding buying gold, um, and how you should probably buy it before it's too late. That is kind of a thing we will get to. But I want to ask you first, before we get too far into this, why are you buying gold, Yankee? Why did you start buying it? Because you actually stacked gold heavily before you stacked any silver.
Yeah, that's right. I did do a little silver stacking when I was a kid, but my big purchase was that right there, the Yankee can and a tube of 1 ounce gold American Eagle. So that was the big move. Mrs. Yankee kind of looked at me with that weird face, said, "What are you talking about?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do it. So I bought it for a variety of reasons. One is like, oh my word, this it's so beautiful. Look at
It is
this.
beautiful.
Gold is gorgeous. But, it really boiled down to the way I wanted to stack. I wanted to stack dense. That
Mm.
means I wanted to have a lot of value stored in a small place, just in one hand. I could hold a lot of wealth. I could transfer it around, move it around. So I loved the convenience of it. And at that time, it was $1,000 an ounce.
Wow.
I know, I know. That was a great time to get in. Um, and, that was a big reason. And we'll talk more about some other reasons, but that was the big one.
So you wanted to be able to just grab it and run if you needed to, like you weren't gonna have to lug around all this silver. You
Nope.
could
I
throw it in
just,
your pocket, out the door.
yeah, I just had that there right there. 20 of these, you
Wow.
know, it was $20,000 in one hand of gold. That meant a lot. And I thought it was a good way to protect myself from what I really thought was coming and what I still think is coming.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of us we call ourselves silver stackers,
Mm,
but we stack gold as well. And there are
yeah.
kind of different reasons for stacking each metal, and people have different strategies for how many ounces of each they should buy. We're going to talk about that. But what would you say is probably some of the best reasons to buy gold?
Well, first of all, they're both incredible to have, right?
Hmm.
They're both very liquid. They both have a history in the United States of being monetary metals. They both have great properties, but gold is rarer. It's a rarer metal. In fact, when I was a kid, I remember my dad telling me that silver was the poor man's gold. I remember him
Ooh.
saying that, and I was like, "Whoa, does that mean, Dad, that you go for silver, which I did as a little kid, but then you want it to be gold one day?" I really didn't understand that phrase when I was young. Here's something else. This is the Achilles heel, if you will, with silver.
Okay.
It tarnishes.
It does.
Gold doesn't tarnish.
Yeah,
You can
so
stick it in the ground for 20, 30, 100 years and pull it out and it'll look the same.
yeah, there was a documentary that came out this year on Netflix, and they were looking for these gold coins, pre 33 gold coins on this island up in Alaska. I forget the name of the show,
Hmm.
but what they found, well, I don't want to spoil it, but they may or may not have found a few coins, but they look perfect. They look beautiful, and they were just sitting in the ground for, how many years, decades, and they look gorgeous when they pulled them out of the ground. So yeah, gold does not tarnish, which is great. And when you stack it, typically you got kind of get more for your money because the premiums are lower than they are with
Mm.
silver typically.
That's a really good point. Yeah, typically, if you go with the fractional, it
Hmm.
it can be very high premium associated with those. But if you go like say just if you can get a whole ounce, the premiums are in the single digits, sometimes 3, 4, 5%.
Yeah.
You don't find that with silver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like with silver, the smaller you get, the higher the premium. So if you're going to be stacking gold, usually, I mean, we both, I think, would recommend getting the 1 ounce. But if you can't afford 1 ounce, try and get as big as a piece you can, just so you don't get torn up on the premium.
Right. I like to save up for at least a quarter ounce. That's my rule of thumb.
It's interesting if we look at how gold and silver have performed over the years. It seems like gold is a little bit more stable. And
Hmm.
so maybe some of the older stackers, yourself included, Yankee, would
Hmm.
prefer gold over silver because silver has that volatility that we've seen, right?
Yes, for us older stackers. I see what you did there. No, but you're right. As we age, we start to think about, whoa, I want some stability. I don't like a whole lot of my portfolio in a volatile investment. I like the fact that gold is less volatile historically. Uh, and that's both a positive and negative, right? I mean, if you're younger, you might want that volatility because silver has more upside potential with
Right.
that volatility. In fact, in the past, especially during recessions, you'll see how gold and silver are inversely correlated with the US dollar, actually with almost any currency. You'll actually see this. So as the dollar strengthens, gold and silver tend to drop. If the dollar weakens, gold and silver both go up. However, gold won't go down as much as silver when the dollar strengthens.
Hmm.
And conversely, when the dollar starts to get weaker, gold won't go up as high as silver. We saw that back in 2011 when silver just really percentage wise blew away gold.
Yeah.
But yet in this last, recession, I guess you could call it, 2021 and so forth, gold dipped just as a little bit compared to silver. Silver really got hit hard.
Yeah, so if you want that kind of stability, you don't want to ride the wave, so to speak. And maybe if you're going to be cashing out your precious metals, like if you've saved them for retirement and you're
Mhm.
going to be sort of selling them to pay for things and what have you, you don't want the crazy price swings that silver has because you might be forced to sell it on the downswing. So if you have most of your metals in, most of your value in gold, that would be more beneficial, I would think, for the older stackers,
Yep.
especially if you're wanting to cash out, right?
Right.
So, and then another thing too, when it comes to stacking gold, if you stack gold as an individual, this is something you've talked about, Yankee. Being your own bank, you're kind of doing what the central banks are doing, because they buy gold, right? They don't buy silver.
They stack gold, although publicly they malign it, they make fun of it, they ignore it, they don't talk about it. Privately, they stack it, especially in other countries too. I mean, who knows how much gold we really do have in Fort Knox, but we're supposedly the biggest stacker of gold anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, but it hasn't been audited in quite a long time. So we think it,
Nope.
yeah, if it's all there, then the U.S. by far has more gold than any other country. But yeah,
The
I
central
mean,
banks love it. They stack it.
yeah,
They
they
do.
understand it'll help them protect their wealth. It's very stable. And if your currency goes through a swing, if your currency is being devalued, it's very wise to have gold on hand, which is kind of one of the reasons we stack to begin with, right? It's a hedge.
That's absolutely. It's a hedge. Very important. So yeah, so those are some of the reasons I really do enjoy stacking gold.
Now, I want to ask you this, Yankee. How much gold do you stack as compared to silver? We could talk about like value wise. What would you say your personal stack is? Where are you leaning towards?
Well, again, starting out with gold, it's more gold. So I would say about 2 to 1 for
Interesting.
yeah, so two to one value wise, gold over silver.
Yeah, and for my stack, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm two, maybe closer 3 to 1 in favor of silver. I have way more silver than gold in ounces, but also in value in my stack. And I think maybe that is because I'm younger and
Mhm.
I've got more time to play the ratio. And I really do want to talk about playing the ratio because that's a very important thing when it comes to buying gold. Um,
Right.
but
But
yeah,
just let me say this one thing too. Both, I say this a lot, but both silver and gold are important to stack for similar yet slightly different reasons for me. Gold is for preserving my wealth through a dollar collapse, an SHTF, a massive, horrific economic scenario that I pray doesn't happen, right? But silver for me is much more of a transactional barter, much more flexible type of metal that I also stack. So both of them are important. Both of them are a hedge. Both of them are wealth insurance.
Yes, that's very important. And when it comes to actually purchasing gold, let's talk about what types are sort of better. I think we already alluded to this, but the lower premium is usually the best, and that would be the 1 ounce size, right?
Right. The largest you can purchase.
And then also, one thing that I prefer, and I can tell by your stack as well, you prefer coins over bars. I think coins, they're just trusted more. They're easier to sell, so liquidity is higher with coins. And so if I could choose between a coin or a bar, I would almost always choose the coin.
I agree. I think it's almost psychological. I think people associate a round object with money. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
We've always coinage. It's always been most of the time round. So I like coins and I like trusted mints, preferably if the premiums aren't too high.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of premiums, let me show you over here at Bullion Max. They are the sponsor for the show, but they are now selling the 2023 Gold Britannias, and the premium is only 5% over spot. So you're getting a great deal on some gold from Great Britain. And you and I both have Britannias,
Oh
right,
yeah,
Yankee?
we love the Britannias. They are beautiful coins. This one's got to have the. Is that one have the queen on it? The
The
2023.
2023 does have the queen, but I
Okay.
believe they're going to switch it over um, to the king at some point.
Mm.
But yeah, absolutely gorgeous coins, huh?
Beautiful coins, wonderful security features on their coins too.
Yeah, I
Really good.
I need to get some more Britannias, so that's a great option.
That's a great premium. You said 5%, right?
Yep, 5% premium.
If you can get 5 or lower, that's really good.
Yeah, and then so let's talk about the ratio. And I like to talk about this more than you do, Yankee, I think, because it's more in my strategy.
Hmm.
Um, but I had this idea. There's a lot of people buying silver, and I think maybe not all of them, but there's a good portion of silver stackers who actually are intending to sell their silver to buy gold down the road once the ratio is lower. Because
Hmm.
you could just simply get more gold for your money if instead of buying gold now, you buy silver, wait till it's more in your favor to trade your silver for gold and then do it at that point. But I'm worried that when the perfect time exists, there won't be much physical gold available. So you should be buying gold now. Don't you think that would be possible, Yankee?
That is a big concern, I think, for people playing the ratio with physical gold and silver. You may say, "This is it. I've been stacking silver exclusively, and now I'm ready." And you go, and that day the ratio might be favorable, like you said, or that week, and you can't get it. You can't get your target metal.
Right. Yeah, because the whole idea is that if you look at when the gold silver ratio last hit its low, it was back in 2011. And at that point in time, gold and silver prices had gone up, but silver had gone up much faster, right? Which is why we saw the ratio
Hmm.
narrow. And
That's
you had
right.
a very short period of time to exchange your silver for gold if that's what you wanted to do. But the problem was the demand was so high. If you go down to your local coin shop, sell them your silver and then go, all right, let me buy some gold. They go, what gold? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Sold
do.
out,
That
buddy.
just
And
again, I
so,
don't think the strategy's bad. It's just that I think maybe you should add some gold to your silver along the way.
yeah, I certainly think so. And with the ratio now being under 80,
Mm.
I think it's a good time to buy a mixture of gold and silver. So I might start buying some more gold here in 2023, at least buying it more heavily than I was. Because, again, with the premiums on silver, it kind of narrows the actual real ratio.
Hmm.
So that's definitely something to think about. I think long term, it's very wise to stack silver and to stack gold. Again, like you said, for different reasons. But definitely, the older you get, I feel like the more you should lean into gold. You should go heavier on gold sort of as the years tick by, just so you're not exposed to all the volatility that silver has.
I agree.
All
Good
right.
words.
All right. Well, hey, this was really fun. We need to talk about gold more, don't we?
I think so. We could be gold pros. Well, silver. No, let's be silver pros.
Well, either way, just make sure you stack like a pro.